everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. Tonight's gonna be a fun show. I think you guys will really appreciate this. Sam was kind enough to join me tonight, and you'll get a little more insight on just kind of the ins and outs of the cigar club that he runs, Stogiebird. And I think we'll just have a good time with it. Let me see who we've got right now, real quick in the chat. So right now it looks like we've got a few people. Jason, how's it going, buddy? John, Trev, how's it going? Karen, how's it going? So a few people will get the notification here in a second, and we'll pop in. So tonight's show, basically just a continuation of a little more of the cigar content on the show. Obviously, my bourbon journey. So focus a little bit more on the whiskey stuff, but I wanted to also kind of just touch a little bit more on, something that is also like kind of another passion of mine. And that's just the cigar side of things. There's so many things, just like the whiskey world and all of that. There's a million different ways you can go with cigars and, all of that. So fortunately I've got tonight a great person who's going to kind of let us in on, some of the ins and outs of the business. So Sam, welcome to tonight's show. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it.
Got it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks again. Tonight's focus will be a little bit on not only the cigars in general, but a little bit of his, we want to kind of touch on his knowledge, learn a few more things about him, and then, talk a little bit more about Stogiebird, the brand, how you guys can be part of it, all of that. So with that being said, I guess why don't we first start with a little bit of your background? Do you mind kind of just sharing with everybody kind of how and where it all began for you?
Like where it began.
Yeah, I
guess
just kind of like going back to, what it was that got you, into cigars, and then kind of where things went from there for you.
I smoked cigars since high school. Not very good cigars, but smoked cigars since high school. And I think it was because of Michael Jordan is who I credit for my cigar smoking. I'm a product of the 90s, graduated in 94. I'm from Pittsburgh, but we didn't have we still don't have a basketball team. So I was a Jordan fan. And, I wanted to be like Mike. And when he was winning championships and, he was smoking cigars. So I, got into cigars. At an early age, if you will. But after high school, I joined the Navy and still smoked cigars then. And when I got out of the Navy, I did some work in the liquor industry. So I would even tie in cigars with what I was doing in the liquor industry. I had done some work with Dewar's Scotch. I did Scotch tastings, things like that. And I worked for Bacardi, which owns Dewar's. And then I did work with Brown Forman, which is Jack Daniels, Finlandia, Grey Goose,
wow.
whole list of Glenmorangie. They had a whole bunch of scotches at that time. But and then I wanted to get into the cigar industry. So I had taken a position with Oliva Cigar and ended up, kind of long story short, creating what was called the Nub cigar. It's a pretty popular cigar back 2008, I believe we launched it, and it was it was a big deal back then, and I was on top of the cigar world at that time. It was a lot of fun, but relationships soured, and we split up. They did their thing, I did my thing, and I've been on my own since 2010. And I make, Lucia tobacco. I do the black, white, luchador. I have various other small limited runs, under my name, if you will. And I've launched Stogiebird last year, which is a cigar, monthly cigar club, if you will. I don't know what else. It's a monthly. It's cigars to your door.
Yeah. It's a really kind of like. I mean, you've done a lot of really kind of like fun things. So let me go back to something before. So as a young guy being kind of, let's just say almost a little bit, I don't want to say like on top of the world, but in the cigar industry, you creating that brand Nub, which is, I mean, still today, something people, seek out and very popular and all that. But what, how were things at that point? Like, kind of, how did you deal with that, just the creation of that, how was that for you?
I'm not sure what your question is.
I guess once you kind of created, like when you were like so involved with kind of creating that, like the nub, like when you created that, being so young, what was that like for you at the time? Like, where were you kind of at that moment?
I don't know. I just, I mean, it didn't happen overnight. I mean, the success kind of happened overnight, but the building of it, certainly took its time. I don't know. I think it was just, I think I was really excited about it. I thought it was something that, the industry could get excited about. And I think that, the timing was really, really what it was about. The timing was perfect for something like that. So, it was just exciting, man. It was fun to be part of, one of the hottest brands to hit the market, so it was a blast. Exhilarating, I guess,
What did that kind of like do for you at the moment? Like, how did that kind of springboard you into, where you are now? Did that kind of just get the juices flowing even more to really like just be more involved in the industry?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. It certainly opened different doors, different opportunities, and then learning, different things. There's one thing with just being a casual cigar smoker. It's a whole other ball of wax being on the other side of the fence and creating the cigar, or just having any involvement, on that side of things. It's just it's a different world. It's a different world, and it's part of the magic goes away because you get to kind of see behind the curtain, so to speak. But it's exciting nonetheless. And I mean, I've been in this industry 20 years now. I can't believe I've been doing something that long. So I've been doing this a while, and I think that's where Stogiebird, the excitement comes in. Like, as a brand owner, I know what these companies are trying to achieve, and I'm trying to we're just all trying to work together, trying to give the customer what they're looking for, trying to give the manufacturer what they're looking for, and I think Stogiebird kind of brings that together on a variety of levels. So this has been a totally different business model for me. And I've never really got into fulfillment and things of just this entire business model is very, very different from what I've been whatever I've done in my lifetime. But I'm having a blast. Stogiebird has really taken off. It's allowed me to employ other people. So, not only does it help provide for my family, it's helping provide for other families too. So that's always kind of, it's just kind of awesome to kind of,
well, and it's even probably more exciting, and, you're probably appreciative even more of, like, with everything going on now and being able to, keep people employed, and, you as well, and people being as excited about the brand and all of that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think, again, a little luck with some timing. It's tough to get cigars. In some places are closed, some shops are, whatever, just various quarantines in various cities and states, and plus there's some cigar shortages because the factories have been shut down for months. So there's a lot of things going on in our industry, a lot of moving parts, and not all of it is good. But there's certainly some people benefiting from this situation, and I'm incredibly fortunate enough to be one of those benefiting from this situation. But it hasn't always been easy, so it's nice to finally kind of catch a wave here, when you can.
Well, and I can imagine. I mean, it's probably, with all of the moving parts that are going on, from the time the guys are producing the cigars to the time people, get them at their door. There's a lot of moving parts and stuff there. So I guess focusing on, Stogiebird itself as the brand, from the time of conception, or the idea of you kind of starting that kind of cigar club, how have things gone? Like, how have been, some of the ups and downs, or some of that kind of stuff for you?
Well, this is something that I had thought about doing a kind of a cigar club years ago, more of a tailored to Lucia tobacco. So it would be exclusively, stuff that I, made only every month. But I never really, did it. And it wasn't until I was doing the fulfillment for American Rebel. I make the American Rebel cigar for Cody Rhodes and Kaz. And I do Stogiebird does the distribution of it. So it really wasn't until I was shipping, all these small packages of cigars, which again, I come from shipping, I was never in the business of selling individual cigars. I've never been a cigar retailer.
Yeah.
So it's always about, wholesale and multiple boxes, not even just one box, but, a 20 box order, 50 box order, 100 box order. Mm-hmm. So, to be shipping, 5 cigars, it's just, it's not something I ever wanted to do, but it worked out and I've enjoyed it. And I'm shipping all these cigars. These people have no idea what Lucia tobacco is. I could be, interacting with these customers in different ways. Yeah. And so I launched Stogiebird, shortly after, realizing that I had something here and the timing was good. So, it's just kind of a lot of different things, but it's just been a blast. I mean, it's a year and a half we've been in business, and wow, it's just flying by. It's really flying by.
And that's
growing.
good.
Things have been really good.
Yeah, that's good. That's the best thing. I mean, with everything going on now, to hear somebody who's, successful during these times, and just in general, it's always nice to hear people are doing well. So,
and I like to have a lot of fun with the marketing and with the commercials and all that. And I haven't had a chance to sit down and do any of that, and it's like, so my Instagram gets stagnant and Facebook gets a little stagnant because, I don't have 20 people here, so we're very busy. I don't have time to do marketing because I'm too busy fulfilling orders.
That's the tough side of it, when you need like a marketing person and you're the marketing person and the distributor, the shipper, all of that kind of stuff.
I wear a
lot of hats. Let me back up to that time where whatever it was, it clicked and you thought, man, an online like cigar club, what was it that made you kind of think, in terms of like where you were at the moment, to think, this is something I can do and kind of make a run at this?
I just mentioned the idea in my Facebook club, which is now Club Stogiebird. It was a Lucia Tobacco fan page or something. It's now Club Stogiebird. I just asked my followers and friends what they thought of the idea. I showed them, kind of the packaging and what the concept kind of was, and I got a huge response. And I never looked back. Said it's been crazy since February.
So I guess last year. Yeah, and that I would imagine with everything again, that year and a half has probably flown right by with everything going on. You need more than 24 hours in a day just to get your things done, I suppose.
Sure, and we've got other. I've got other things I'm working on. There's, Java Bird. I'll be doing some coffee programs, and just I've got a lot of things that I'm working on. Currently, the business is just is taking all my time. All the attention it needs because it's doing me well. So once I'm able to, maybe trust a little more people to more.
Oh, kind of froze up on me there for a second. All right. So I guess let me ask you this. So I guess with the Stogiebird brand itself, I guess let's talk a little bit about that. And I guess, where the name kind of came from, and then kind of we'll get into a little bit of the, the ins and outs of what people get and, when and all of that, if you don't mind.
Well, Stogie I'm from Pittsburgh, and Stogie's a relatively local term. It was coined in Conestoga, PA. They made the wagons that carried the tobacco, and they were called Stogie wagons. And the guys driving the Stogie wagons ended up calling the cigars Stogies. So, that's kind of a relatively local term. So I've always liked the word Stogie and the story behind it. And I guess my relationship with it in the, geographically speaking. So, and then bird is because, these things they give flight and they go all over the world, So Stogiebird cigars.
Yeah. I was always kind of wondering, what was behind the name of it. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, so I guess regarding that, when you're doing like kind of some of the sourcing and really, trying to figure out from month to month what's going to be in the package, let's talk a little bit about maybe kind of that process and, where things are. I think we might have lost Sam, I think maybe. I don't know if you can still hear me or not, Sam. Can you guys still hear or see anything? All right. So I don't know if you guys can still see me. Hopefully he'll pop back in here in a second. So let me go back here. We'll get rid of that. All right, sorry about that. So we'll wait for Sam to pop back in and see if that stuff works a little bit. So I'm not sure if you guys can still hear or see me. Somebody maybe leave me a little comment. Let me know if we're still good or not on this. So I'm not sure if it's still if we're still going. All right, looks like it. He was frozen. So yeah, it might have been on his end. So maybe he'll pop back in here in a second. So okay, yeah, I know that's the one downside to the whole Wi-Fi thing sometimes. So it looks like it's pretty strong here on my end. So all right, so I guess while we're waiting for Sam to pop back in, what's everybody else? Anybody sipping and smoking? What do you guys have going on tonight? So yeah, the one I've got right now, this is from the most recent package from Stogiebird. This is the Miquedra Traca number 552. This is a Nicaraguan cigar. Actually, I think it's all no, it is a Robusto, all Nicaraguan. So, and that's one thing I'm a big fan of. I just like the bold and spiciness of the Nicaraguan tobacco. So it's just something that always seems to really kind of pair real well. So we'll see if Sam pops back in here in a minute. But anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for joining tonight. Yeah, it's one of those things when you get all the Wi-Fi and all that nowadays, and it can be tough with all of that. So all right, let me pour a little something else, and hopefully there he is. All right, let me get him. There you are. I know that darn Wi-Fi. Yeah. It can be. It can be a pain. So, so I guess why don't we, before we kind of drop off again or whatever, why don't we talk a little bit about Stogiebird itself and kind of what people have options of being able to kind of get and be part of the club.
Sure. I mean, if it's one thing Stogiebird has, it's options. So there's certainly something for everybody.
Yeah.
The basic subscriptions is what we call the SB2, SB5, and SB8, which is Stogiebird 2. You get 2 cigars for $20. The SB5, you get 5 cigars for $40, and the SB8, you get 8 cigars for $60. Shipping is included in that price, so free shipping, and you're going to get those selections. And with those cigars, you also get an information sheet that kind of breaks down where the cigar was made, what country, what factory, what the blend makeup is, if the brands share it, and just any type of rating that it may or may not have received. Well, I wouldn't tell you if it didn't ever, but just an information sheet, so you know what you're smoking, and you can remember it if you liked it, or if you wanted to.
Yeah, and it's really nice. So how he has it laid out, as you'll see. So you've got right here in this column, the first column will be the 2 that you get if you choose the 2, and then the 5 will be these 2 plus these 3, obviously with the 5, and then the 8 will be obviously these 5 and these final 3. So it is nice to be able to get a little information sheet that tells you a little bit about, where it's from, all of that. So it's a lot of information. And to be honest, what I kind of like is that there's not so much information where you're telling everybody what it is that they're going to taste.
The cigars is very subjective. That's for I don't. I mean, opinions are great. And people certainly use opinions and reviews and all that to make informed decisions. But with Stogiebird, I just want to give them kind of the facts, and then they can kind of make the decision on what it is they like, because tastes are subjective. Whether or not I like it or not doesn't mean you're going to like it or not. I mean, not necessarily. So, the information that's on that sheet is really just factual information. There's no opinions or anything like that.
Which I kind of appreciate. I mean, I know with from my side of things, doing whiskey reviews, I mean, a lot of us in what we do try to just describe what it is we're nosing and tasting. And again, it's all subjective, and whether or not you taste or smell whatever it is we do. Again, it's the same exact thing for cigars. What it is you taste and smell and all that is very subjective, and it becomes really your own, it's your own palate. I mean, you're going to nose and taste everything that's going to be different. So, one other thing I wanted to mention. So in addition to those kind of 3 tiers that Sam was mentioning before, there's a lot of options, some really cool things. So one is the buddy system. And again, I think this is also involving 8 cigars, but 2 of each, correct?
Correct. And I'm not sure if it's listed on the website yet, but we've made some exceptions for some customers to do a 12 packs buddy system, which could include 3 buddies. So it would be, and that's, so I know we've made a couple of those. I'm not sure if it's directly on the site yet, but in any case, the buddy system is either, you can look at it a couple of different ways. You can look at it as a cigar to smoke now and one to save, or you can look at it as, you're going to get 2 pairs of, or 1 pair of 4 cigars, and you can share that, with a friend, or even split the cost of the subscription with your friend.
Yeah, I love the idea of all these like kind of little different tiers and things you can do that are different, where you're not just locked into 4 cigars or 5 cigars and this is what you get. You've got no options. That was the thing to me
and people that want big ring gauges, I have an option just for big ring gauges, for for just small ring gauges, for if you want just strong cigars, if you want mild cigars, those come with a little more restrictions. You're not going to get an information sheet and things like that. It's not part of my monthly system. My best seller is still the what we call the SB8. It's the 8 cigar selection. That is by and large our best seller.
And it's a great deal. I mean, you're getting 8 like quality cigars for $60, where you start doing the math, you're getting great cigars for a pretty damn good deal. I'll tell you that.
Well, and so many of our customers will start off with the SB2 or the SB5, and then they'll upgrade within the first couple of months. So that's how the SB8's just that group just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And then in addition to that, we have the what's called the featured brand of the month. So you're going to get 8 selections from one manufacturer. So you're going to be able to really try a nice chunk or their entire portfolio, which is something that is not offered really anywhere online or anywhere in a shop. To actually grab 8 cigars, 8 different blends from one manufacturer, because you might have had one cigar from X brand and you didn't like it, so you might not taste that entire brand ever again. And that's not fair, really. I mean, if you didn't like that one particular cigar, every blend can be so uniquely different. That's what's nice about.
I love that idea. I love that idea. Yeah, I think that's
in addition to that, usually the manufacturer will throw in a tchotchke item, whether it be a cutter, a lighter, a cutter and a lighter. We've had all kind of nice gifts. Every month is different, and it's kind of up to the manufacturer in that regard. We've done travel Pelican cases a couple of months ago. Those were just included, with the program. And a majority of our feature brand customers are also Stogiebird 8 customers. I have a very small amount of customers that just do the manufacturer of the month. Most that do that also subscribe to the SBA.
Okay, so they're just kind of tacking that onto their normal like monthly.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have a lot of single manufacturer of the month customers. The majority of them are doubled up with the SB8 as well.
Okay, Joseph, I have to say thanks. Joseph Abrazo, who's he's another like cigar aficionado. I mean, another guy who has like a wealth of knowledge in the cigars and all of that. I had him on a couple weeks ago with Jason from the Mash and Drum, and we did some whiskey and cigar pairings. And it's just fun to hear and to listen to all of you guys who have a wealth of information in the cigar world. So he says he's having a Cane and a Baker's right now.
And Cane is a cigar that I had a lot to do with at one time.
And he mentioned that to me before we even went live. He had sent me something, just kind of letting me know that you had a little more involvement. There's more to Sam Leccia than just Stogiebird. So he was.
I've got quite the history in this industry, and fortunately, I've got a good track record. I haven't pissed off too many people.
Not too many people yet. 20 years. That's pretty. 20 years in the business and not pissing off too many people. That's pretty good.
There's a couple, but you're supposed to have a couple.
That's true. Yeah, you're not gonna ever do like really well at something and not piss a few people off. That's for sure. So
you'll never get unscathed in that world.
No, you got that right. So hey, let me ask you this. So with the brand itself, when you're doing a lot of like the sourcing, like what goes into you deciding, what's going to go in a monthly package? Like, what are you kind of doing to kind of put all that stuff together?
I look for a lot of different things. For one, being in this industry 20 years and at all the levels that I've been at in this industry, whether it be, being as a brand owner, as a field rep, as a, manager, just a lot of different hats I've worn in this industry and worked with different companies, so many different companies I've worked with. I've got a lot of good relationships. So I know what these guys make. I know the cigars that they're capable of. And I know, I have my finger on the pulse of the industry. So I know what's exciting and what people are gravitating towards. And at the same time, I know what's really good that nobody's ever heard of. And those are some of the funnest ones that I add. And a majority of my new, I think for the longest time, majority of my customers said, you've given me 5 cigars I've never even heard of, 3 months in a row. And it's not necessarily like just some off brand. These are manufacturers. These are factories. These aren't just some, brand on the back end of a catalog. These are legitimate family-owned, cigar companies that I'm referring to. And not that there's anything wrong with some of these off brands. If a good cigar is a good cigar, is a good cigar, is a good cigar.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters. But I think the main thing is balance. With every subscription is, whenever the 8 is selected, and it's about balance so that it's not too strong, it's not too mild, it's not too robusto, it's not too torpedo. There's never too much of anything. It's not too much, 60 plus ring gauge. It's not too many Lanceros. I try to really balance it so that, I think as a cigar smoker, you should always be trying different things and kind of go outside of your norm. And that's what's perfect for a program like this. Here's 8 cigars of your month that might take you outside of your norm.
Yep.
And you're going to learn a little bit about it as you do it. So you might know, like, hey, I don't like this cigar, but why don't I like it? Well, they can refer to their sheet. Oh, this has whatever, Sumatra. I don't think I like Sumatra.
Yeah.
The last cigar I had was Sumatra. So then they can start kind of figuring out what it is they liked and don't like. But I think if I were to just send, just the main cigars that everybody's heard of, I just think that's kind of a boring program. I mean, I'm part of a lot of different monthly programs. I do some wine programs, and I love branching out and trying different wines. And I think that's what this program is really, really does well. You're going to get limited stuff. You're going to get aged stuff. You're going to get stuff that's, new releases. I've done product launches already with Stogiebird. There's 2 brands that was the first, whatever retailer or distributor or whatever to sell them. So, and next month there's going to be an exclusive cigar that a manufacturer has made. I've teamed up with a company, and we're doing a Stogiebird edition. So there'll be a Stogiebird, secondary band, if you will. I've said "if you will" too many times today. I got to cut that phrase off. I catch myself saying "if you will." It's not a phrase I use every day.
That's like my blow. It doesn't blow you away type of deal. Where it's the opposite. So yeah. No, and that was one of the things I really liked about that, was just even looking at some of the prior sheets, was getting an idea of, like, I've heard of some of the brands, of course, but you're always intrigued by, just kind of what it is that's out there, what's different. And I think this is a really good way to really test your palate and figure out what it is you do like and what you don't like.
And, I'm not sitting on a warehouse full of cigars I need to get rid of. I'm buying product for this program specifically. So, every month, Stogiebird's credibility, my credibility,
I don't know if we lost Sam or not again. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, this is one of the problems with good old Wi-Fi, I'll tell you, nowadays. But it is so, like, there you are. There you are. Okay, sorry about that. Kind of cut out a little bit. Sorry about that. No, so that's it.
What I was saying is, I don't have a warehouse full of cigars I'm getting rid of. I'm buying these selections. So, I certainly want quality cigars. My reputation, Stogiebird's reputation, is on the line every month. I'm not looking for the cheapest cigars to put in there. I want to get you back every single month and get you excited every single month. So, I take a lot of pride in these 8 selections to begin with. So we're having a lot of fun.
And I think that's important. I think, as people understand, where it is you've been and how far you've come and what you've done within the industry, you're not just a guy who's liked some cigars and, decided to throw a few different things in there. Like, you truly understand and have that passion to want to put these, like, quality packages together and make it honestly a great value for people.
No question. I mean, you're going to find, I don't equate quality with price really in too many things, specifically cigars, because I've been on the other side of it. So to me, it's always about, 8 quality cigars. They need to be good cigars. I'm not looking for the cheapest, and I'm not looking to just wow somebody with expensive cigars. They've got to be just good cigars is what is the most important. Something that's going to get you back and keep you interested in this program. Not that there aren't expensive cigars in there, but I'm just saying I don't have a philosophy, and I know price is never really an important factor when it comes to quality of a cigar. In my opinion, there's some great $4 cigars, $6 cigars, $8 cigars, and and an $18 cigar, $24 cigar, they rarely wow you. You're usually like you're forcing yourself to think it's excellent because you spent so much money on it. That's what happens.
And that's kind of funny when you kind of transition that, like, into the whiskey world. It's kind of the same where just because you spend more on something doesn't necessarily mean it's ever going to be better. A lot of times it is, you kind of build up that hype of, like, this is going to be absolutely fantastic and amazing. And then you get to that point, and you're like, it's good, but it's not worth, like, sacrificing 4 or 5 other good cigars for the price of this one.
But the total package of Stogiebird will always outvalue what a customer pays for it. So I mean, all that aside, you're going to get more than what you pay in a more than what you would pay retail in a Stogiebird. Yeah. Plus, you're going to get the free shipping. All the cigars come in it's a foil heat sealed bag with a Boveda pack in it. Boveda has rated our setup that said that the cigars will last in our tubes, in the bag, sealed, untouched for about a year. So you don't have to worry if you don't have a humidor. You don't have to worry if all these things are piling up. You can just keep them in the bag keep them in your sock drawer, keep them with your whiskey, whatever. Keep them out of sunlight, and they're gonna stay fresh for you when you need them.
Yeah. Well, so this is pretty good. So what Joseph just said, I was saying there's not like a big difference. So I said there's not really a big difference between like a $20 cigar and a $5 cigar. He pointed out the fact that there's a $15 difference, of course. But
sure.
So yeah, no,
and look, sometimes you're going to get a really good cigar at that price. It just doesn't guarantee it. Is really the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, and I think that's when people really start to look at the entire package, and understand what it is they're getting for, let's say, $60 for the pack of 8. If we stick with that one, I mean, it's a hell of a value. Like I was looking in here, and that One Night Stand from Lost and Found. I mean, that's a pretty special cigar. I actually had it. It was fun. It was funny. A buddy of mine had one, and it was just pure coincidence that this then ended up in a package. But I saw here that it was limited to only 3,600.
Right.
Yeah.
And what helps again is I've got really good relationships with a lot of these vendors or brand owners, manufacturers, and they really believe in what I'm doing. They believe in the program. They like how their brand is portrayed within the program. So I've got a lot of good support from within the industry to allow me to have some of these cigars that are hard to find, or are limited runs, or are vintage. I've done so many cigars that are from 2012, 2014.
Yeah.
Stuff that nobody will see in a cigar shop, and a majority of what I offer isn't available in your local shop. So I don't necessarily am even competing with local shops. We're talking about 8 cigars a month. A lot of guys blow through that in a couple days. So
yeah, I mean these are. I mean, it's just a fantastic lineup. I mean, I just like the fact that you're mixing in a lot of just quality cigars. Like this isn't just a bunch of regular stuff. You can go to your local tobacconist and or your B&M and just get whatever it is you can find. I mean, anybody can go do that, but I think to be able to dive into what it is you've got is pretty nice. I mean, there's some really nice cigars. Let me just kind of open up. So this was the pack I've got was the July 2020 pack. So some really, I mean, there's some fantastic ones. And until you explained it to me, I never put 2 and 2 together. But so this one was this was that Atomic. That was the La Bamba. And I didn't realize that it was kind of like a fuse on the end of it. I'm like, I've never seen a pigtail quite that long. But then you think of the old Atomic Bomb, and it makes perfect sense. So, right. But again, I mean, you can see this thing is all sealed, and like Sam said, you seal this bad boy up, throw it in the Boveda pack, and you're good to go. And then over like right here, I've got the little Stogiebird. It's the little cylinder that was just sitting back there. So it's almost like a little traveling humidor, to be honest.
Yeah, we call it a disposable travel humidor, disposable reusable travel humidor. I mean, it's great for golfing, for fishing, for camping, for just hitting the town or whatever. Just leaving the house. It'll protect your cigars. If you drop that bag, you can still hurt the cigars. But if they're in the tube and you drop the tube, just another layer of protection. And you can fit your lighter in there or whatever. It's just, it's a man purse it can be when you're out on the town.
Yeah, exactly. So Patrick Heist. So Patrick, thanks for jumping in. So Patrick is the master distiller for Wilderness Trail. So great distillery down in Kentucky. They make some fantastic bourbon down there. So kudos to him.
One of my favorites was the Woodford Reserve Distillery. I was actually bass fishing in the creek that they use for the water and drinking. I'm drinking it was Woodford Reserve. I'm drinking from the barrel. I'm fishing with the water that goes into what I'm drinking. It was just like magic. It was pretty cool experience.
And that's something that I really enjoy. Just the whiskey and cigar pairing itself. I mean, how they bring out different flavors in each other is fantastic. So, all right, I've got a question from Joseph. I'll throw it up here real quick. So, let me go back. So, Patrick, this you can answer this, but he just asked.
I'm gonna turn this light on real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, well, Patrick, I'll have him. I'll have Sam answer that for you, but. I think I can answer, and I'm pretty sure the answer to that is going to be yes. So I think they're also starting to go international, I believe. So all right. So
Sorry.
Sam, so Patrick was asking, and I think I know the answer to this, but you can ship to Kentucky, correct?
Oh yeah. I mean, we ship to all states, but what is it? Utah, I believe. No, is it Utah? Yeah, I mean, I think it's Utah. They and that's by law. It's like a $5,000 fine to ship cigars to Utah. But yeah, we ship to 15 different military bases currently, and I'm shipping currently to 12 different countries.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So let me
ship to more, but I currently have customers there.
All right, that's good. Is the international shipping, is that something newer for you?
It's newer, yes.
Okay. All right. So Joseph has a question that says, question for Sam. Any thoughts on the FDA backing down recently on substantial equivalence?
I don't really have a thought on it. I mean, this is all. I mean, eventually it's going to come down, or something's going to happen. I mean, it's scared me enough to change my focus in the industry, and that's part of the reason I've put all the energy into Stogiebird is it's a different. I don't have to worry about the FDA as Stogiebird. I have to worry about the FDA as Leccia Tobacco, and I'm concerned about it is probably the best. And backing down. It's another plus, but they're just kicking the can. Eventually, that can's going to stop getting kicked.
Is there anything for you with it, even though it's kind of like a mail order? Is there anything where you'd potentially have to be like kind of a private group versus like just an online type of retailer to not be affected by those, sanctions and things?
Time will tell.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I know like, people will try to do like a private thing or whatever it may be to try to kind of dance around some of the,
you could dance all you want. It's all the same thing.
Yeah. I suppose one way or another, if they want to get you, they're going to do something, I guess. Hey.
Sure.
All right. So let me see if there's any other questions real quick. All right. So we're about almost 45 minutes in. So I guess let me ask you this, regarding the brand itself. I guess why don't we just talk a little bit about kind of like where things are now, where you're hoping things kind of go, and then I guess we can really kind of touch on really anything else.
Well, we're growing at a really good clip. It's some months have been difficult because of the amount of growth we've had. Growth can be difficult, but it's always a good difficult. And so, I hope we just continue to grow. We're going to be moving locations probably within the next few months. We've outgrown this place. I need more space. So, we'll probably have some kind of a storefront when that happens. But, that's kind of the future. Plus, I've got other bird ideas, if you will, other monthly programs to tie in, very similar, to my cigar customers, things, just similar things that are related.
Will you tie some of those together, like the coffee thing and all?
Already have, yeah. We've done coffee with cigars, yeah, and that's a given for sure.
So let me ask, I guess, let's see, what do we got? So Joseph said something. Is there going to be a Stogiebird motorcycle giveaway?
Never say never. Never say never.
Yeah, everybody likes giveaways, right?
Well, there was the cane motorcycle is what he's referring.
Yeah, he was referring to that before. I was kind of talking to him about that before.
There was I was in the ad for Cigar Aficionado of me with this motorcycle.
Now everybody wants it.
The motorcycle was a guy in Newport News, Virginia, that won it, and he ended up selling it. I tried to reach out to him to see if he wanted to sell it, and he had just sold it for like $8,000. I paid like $45,000 for that bike. He
sold it for $8,000.
Well, the value of choppers really dropped drastically over the years. Everything kind of went to bobbers, and the big stretch choppers, nobody wants anymore. So you got to hold on to it, and then they'll maintain their, they'll have value again. But right now, nobody wants a big ass chopper. They're horrible to ride.
It is. It's a really tough thing to have to ride. It's not the most uncomfortable or most comfortable thing when you're all stretched out on it like that. So
right.
Yeah. All right. So I guess let's just touch upon kind of some final things, like, let's talk a little bit about Stogiebird and how people can find you, where they can order things, all of that. You can see I got a little ticker kind of going at the bottom. So if you guys want to jump on and just kind of check out, what Stogiebird is and order something. Obviously, if you use that little code MBJ20, it'll get you $5 off your first order. So it's a hell of a deal, I'll tell you that. So, and some fantastic cigars, by the way. So, and
free shipping, which is crazy. The amount of money I spend in shipping is absurd.
Yeah, when you combine that for $60, let's just say, the Stogiebird pack of 8 for $60, you get $5 off. It includes shipping. That's a pretty damn good value, I can tell you that. So
I'm currently spending about $80,000 a year on shipping.
Really?
Out of my pocket, because it's free. I offer free shipping.
Wow. Well, I mean, people appreciate that. People love the free stuff, but it is, and I think people appreciate what it is that you do and the effort that goes into what it is you do, and I hope that this gives everybody watching the replay later. I hope it gives everybody a good idea of just the quality of what it is and kind of who's backing. We stand by everything we do. Our customer service is hands down the best there is. I mean, we've got live chat available on the website, and if live chat's not available, there's a ticket will be formed. You can we almost made it to the hour. Maybe when he pops back in, we'll I'll ask him that, Joseph, and see if anyone's making the Luchador cigars. So so, and here's another thing right here. So I would agree. If you're on the fence, you won't regret it. It's a great program. Sam, like he said, he stands behind everything. They do a great job. It's just a well put together.
Right away.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just saying that, like, there were a couple of people that were mentioning, hey, if people are hesitant about doing it, don't, because it's great customer service, great cigars, everything about the whole entire program is fantastic. So like all these guys, Tim's got it, 100% agree, best of the best. So I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's already quality behind what it is that's going into Stogiebird as the brand itself. So that's important, because if you've got quality people behind whatever the product is, it's going to show in whatever the package is. It doesn't, make much of a difference there. So
no, we definitely take a lot of pride in what we do, and we guarantee every package is guaranteed 100%. So
yeah, no, we've had some pretty good people in here tonight, in terms of some people who really appreciate the cigar industry. Some good, like, whiskey people. I mean, that's something we never even really kind of like touched upon, unless you want to for a quick second. Is let me ask you this: so when you're pairing a cigar with like a whiskey, what is your balance? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to kind of work off of each other? Are you going the opposite direction, where you want like a big, bold, either full strength cigar versus how do you do your pairings when you do stuff?
Well, to give you the short answer, I like balance. I don't like one to overpower the other. So if my cigar is now tasting bitter because of what I'm drinking, then that's not a good pair. If I can't taste the cigar anymore because it's covered my palate too much, it's too mild of a cigar. So to me, I like balance. I like for them to work for the time on my palate, earn their spot. That's the short answer. But the real answer is, man, I don't have time to enjoy cigars at the level that you guys get to enjoy cigars. I certainly smoke cigars. I certainly enjoy cigars. but I don't get to just spend hours on figuring out how to pair them. And I'm smoking while I'm working. I'm smoking when I'm eating. I'm smoking when I'm drinking. I enjoy when things match. I enjoy when things pair well, and I try to make a note of that. But I don't always go out and look for it. There's a lot of strange things that pair very well. Green tea is very good. Unsweetened tea, as long as there's no lemon. Anything citrus will cleanse your palate, and it's not good with cigars, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anything that coats your palate is good, like with coffees and red wines. Anything that's kind of thick and heavy can pair very well.
Yeah. And so far, so like what I've got right now, so this is the Mikedra
right. We're smoking the same thing.
Yeah, so it's a fantastic cigar. And now what I paired it with tonight was a little of the Four Roses single barrel or barrel strength. And I like the balance of that. So you got something sweet. So how did those two balance for you? Perfect.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Because there was a sweetness to this cigar right away, and very, very good, very good.
That was the one thing I liked about this cigar was you still get a lot of the sweetness, a lot of that chocolate, some earth, a little bit of spice and stuff to it, and it balanced out that high rye mash bill from Four Roses. So I liked how those two kind of balanced together very well.
I'm a big fan of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust.
Yep.
I've had pretty much their entire portfolio has been inside of Stogiebird at one time or another, and this is just another month with the Dunbarton and Trust. That's Steve Saka. Anyone that doesn't know, he's the one that was behind the Liga Privada at his time with New York State. So again, I've just been in this business a long time. Seen a lot of things come and go.
And that's good. So, all right, well, we're about an hour. So why don't we wrap it up? Why don't you tell everybody where they can kind of find you at, where they can find Stogiebird, and kind of where things are going.
I'm typically easy to get a hold of on Instagram, on Facebook. It's Sam Leccia. It's also Stogiebird is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The Facebook group page is called Club Stogiebird, and that's where all the members kind of go, and that's where a lot of discussion for just like what you're saying, a lot of pairings, a lot of hey, I'm having this cigar, anyone try this cigar. This is where they discuss the month selections and a lot of different options and offers. Or I do a lot. I spend a lot of time in Club Stogiebird, so there's a lot of private deals or first kind of things whenever you're part of that club.
Yeah. So yeah, I would encourage you guys to go check everything out. You'll see. Use the code again, MBJ20 for $5 off your order. That'll get you. It's a great deal. You can see Sam kind of explained it real well. So
and one thing we didn't discuss is you don't have to even go monthly. I've got customers that are getting cigars every 7 days, every 15 days, every 30 days. You can go 60 days, 90 days, 365 days. You can just get a Stogiebird on your birthday if you want.
Yeah, it really is. It's probably the most like buyer friendly, cigar club that's out there. There's a million options, and really, however you really want to structure it, it's really whatever you want to do. So go check it out. Get on the Facebook page, follow everybody there. Give them a look so you can find Sam at all those places. So I guess I want to say thanks everybody for joining tonight. More importantly, Sam, thanks for taking a little bit of your time and just talking and let everybody know a little bit more about kind of Stogiebird and what's behind the brand. So I'll say it like everybody else has been in the chat. It's worth your money if you enjoy good cigars at a really good price. It's a win-win. So all right, so guys, thanks for joining tonight. I appreciate it. Anybody watching the replay, hopefully you appreciate this. So I don't think I'll be doing one next Tuesday. I'll be out of town actually, but again, I just want to say thanks everybody for joining, and Sam, thanks for joining tonight. Stay there real quick. I'll end the stream, and hopefully we'll see everybody in a couple weeks. So cheers guys, and enjoy your evening.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.